you need to know these camping rules. These camping rules are fundamentals to having a good time while camping, while also making sure that you're not impeding on other people who are camping with you. So let's jump right in. The very first camping rule that you need to know about is leave no trace. And leave no trace has 7 basic principles that you should follow anytime you're in the outdoors, not just camping. And the first one is plan ahead and prepare. The second is to travel and camp on durable surfaces. Third is to dispose of waste properly. The fourth is to leave what you find. Fifth is to minimize campfire impacts. Sixth is to respect wildlife. And seventh is to be considerate of other visitors. So all of these accumulate into basically what it means to be an ambassador of the outdoors. And if you're interested in learning a lot more about Leave No Trace, then you can visit their website at lnt.org or leavenotrace.org. The second rule that you need to know about is quiet hours. So quiet hours are going to vary depending on what campground you're in and where you're at. But generally, campground quiet hours are usually 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So during quiet hours, it means you're supposed to keep noise to a very bare minimum. That means no music, no loud talking, or anything like that. The third rule that you need to know about is stay limits. So most places you go camping have stay limits, and usually those stay limits are 14 days. Now it can vary depending on where you go, but 14 days is usually the stay limit. So if you're going to be staying somewhere for a very long time, especially on public lands, then you need to be aware of the camping stay limit. Rule number 4 is music at your campsite. And the general rule for music at your campsite is if it can be heard beyond your particular campsite, then it's too loud and it needs to be turned down. Keep your music down to where it can only be heard within your particular campsite. Rule number 5 is to respect other people's campsites. So this is a rule I see that gets broken a lot. You should never walk through someone's campsite to get somewhere. This is usually a problem for someone who's camping near to the bathroom. Everyone will just usually walk through their campsite in order to get to the bathroom because they don't want to take the time to go around. You should take the time to go around and be considerate of other people's campsites. It's like they're renting that land for a short amount of time, especially if they actually paid for it. So respect that and stay out of other people's campsites, and they should stay out of yours. Rule number 6 is to wash your dishes properly. So you shouldn't wash your dishes in the water spigots that are located in family campgrounds because they have no drainage systems, and that means the food scraps are just going to stay there and they're going to attract bugs and they're going to attract animals. You also shouldn't wash your dishes in the campground bathroom if they have a bathroom. The piping systems are not meant to deal with food scraps, and it's just not what you're supposed to be doing there. So please wash your dishes at your campsite and then dispose of your gray water, that is the dirty water that comes from washing your dishes. Dispose of that properly. Alright, rule number 7 is to pay for your campsite properly. So you have to be careful with this because sometimes it costs more than just the standard campground fee. Sometimes if you have more than one vehicle, there's an extra vehicle fee that you need to pay. In addition, sometimes if you have more than X amount of people, you might have to pay more more for the campsite on a per person basis. So make sure you read all the rules when you get to your campsite and that you pay properly, because if you don't, you could get issued a fine, and it's probably going to be a lot more than what you were supposed to pay. Rule number 8 is to keep the vault toilets clean. So a lot of times when you go camping, you're only going to get vault toilets, which is basically like a porta potty that isn't portable. In order to keep those clean, you need to not throw any trash in them. Only use them what they're supposed to be for. No trash, please. And at the same time, when you're done, you need to actually leave the toilet seat lid down, not up. So leaving the toilet seat lid down is going to help with ventilation. So those usually have built-in ventilation systems that only work if the toilet seat lid is kept down. It actually makes the entire room smell bad when you leave the toilet seat up. Rule number 9 is to properly secure your dog. So you shouldn't let your dog run around freely when you're camping, especially in a regular campground. And at the same time, you should always make sure that they stay quiet and do not excessively bark, because their noise is disrupting other campers. I can guarantee that. And at the same time, most places have a rule that they must be on a leash no longer than 6 foot long. Rule number 10 is to properly put out your campfire. Okay, in order to put out your campfire, the National Forest Service loves to say, drown, stir, and fill. So first you drown your campfire with water, and then you need to stir all the ashes and everything up, usually with a shovel. And then you actually need to put your hand down to the fire and fill. If it's too hot to touch, then it's too hot to leave. So you need to drown it again and repeat until everything is cold and the fire is completely out. All right, rule number 11 is no fireworks. Usually in campgrounds, there are no fireworks allowed. It's just too dangerous. The risk of fire is just too much. So even on the 4th of July, no fireworks usually in your campgrounds. Finally, rule number 12 is to leave your campsite better than you found it. Some people are just plain irresponsible, and we need to be the bigger people here and try and help as much as we can in keeping our natural areas clean. So do your part and leave your campsite better than you found it, even if you didn't cause the mess. Let me know what you thought about these rules. Did I miss any important rules about camping? Please leave those in the comments below if you have something to share. Please subscribe to the channel so I can come out with more camping information every week. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Zach from SmallCarCamp.com, and I'll see you next time.